The galaxy was calm. Trade ships moved between planets. Patrols followed their usual routes. Nothing strange had happened for many years. But that peace ended in one single moment. Inside a small alien outpost on the edge of the galaxy, a junior officer named Rallick was checking sensor readings. It was a boring job. He had done it 1,000 times. The screen always showed the same thing: empty space, silence, nothing moving. But today the screen suddenly turned bright red. A loud alarm started ringing. Rallick stared at the screen in shock. His hands began to shake. "What is this?" he whispered. His voice was trembling. The red warning sign read, "Mega object detected, unknown, size critical." The outpost commander ran into the room. "What happened? Why are the sensors screaming?" he shouted. Rallick pointed at the display. "Sir, something is entering our galaxy. Something huge." The commander looked at the numbers. His skin turned pale. The object was so large that the outpost scanner started failing. The screen flickered. Static noise filled the room. For 3 seconds the sensors completely shut down. When they turned back on, the reading was even worse. "Object size exceeds system limit." The commander gulped. "Call the council. Now." Across the galaxy the same thing happened. On a military station of the Vorak Empire, officers rushed to their posts as their radar systems crashed one by one. On a merchant ship of the Saurians, cargo workers stopped what they were doing and stared out the window because space itself looked wrong, as if something huge was blocking the distant stars. On a mining moon of the Zalari, workers dropped their tools when the ground vibrated slightly from a deep, faraway energy wave. No one understood what was happening, but everyone felt it, a strange pressure in their chest, a cold fear rising from the spine. Something massive was entering their galaxy, something they had never seen before. Alien governments sent desperate messages to each other. Is it a black hole? Is it a rogue planet? Is it a new weapon? Is someone attacking us? No one had answers, but the object kept moving. Slow, silent, steady. It was not rushing. It was not hiding. It was simply coming. And that made it more terrifying. On the Zather Prime Command Bridge, Admiral Kether watched the live visual feed. At first, the display showed only darkness. Then something began to appear. A shape. A shadow. A giant silhouette moving in deep space. One of the officers whispered, "It looks like a ship." Another corrected him, "No, no ship can be this big." They were both wrong and right. The object was a ship. But it was far beyond anything the galaxy had ever created. Admiral Kether zoomed in. The outline became clearer. A massive hull. A glowing energy core. Armor plates thicker than mountains. An engine so powerful that the screen began to distort from radiation. Every person on the command bridge went silent. They all felt the same chilling thought. This was not an alien ship. This was something older. Something legendary. Something impossible. Rumors spread fast across systems. Some said it was an ancient god returning. Some said it was a forgotten superweapon. Some said it was a world-killer machine. But among older species, a different rumor began to rise. A rumor that brought real fear. What if the humans are back? Many young aliens laughed at this. Humans? They disappeared centuries ago. It's only a myth. Humans destroyed themselves. They cannot return. But the older ones remembered, and they did not laugh. They remembered the war long ago. They remembered the powerful machines humans built. They remembered how humans fought, not with numbers but with will. And they remembered how humans vanished without a trace. Some believed humans left the galaxy. Some believed they went underground. Some believed they were sleeping, waiting for something. No one knew. But the size, the design, the energy signature, everything pointed to one terrifying truth. Only humans ever built ships like this. As the giant object moved deeper into the galaxy, transmission signals finally broke through. A small message appeared on thousands of screens at once. A simple identifying code. No threats. No greetings. No explanation. Just one name. Titan-class battleship, Humanity Prime. The message was enough to freeze entire star systems. Alien soldiers stopped talking. Commanders dropped their datapads. Leaders held their breath. The word Titan-class alone was enough to cause panic. It was a type of human ship that existed only in legends. A ship said to be larger than cities. A ship said to survive supernovas. A ship said to destroy fleets with a single strike. A ship no one believed was real. But now here it was. Alive. Active. Entering the galaxy. Every empire issued emergency alerts. Seal borders. prepare fleets, call war councils, stop all travel routes. But none of it mattered, because the Titan was still coming. Slow. Come. Like it had all the time in the universe. It did not attack. It did not send warnings. It simply moved, and the galaxy trembled. And somewhere deep inside the giant ship, something ancient was waking up. Something human. This was the day everything changed. This was the day the galaxy's peace ended. This was the day the humans returned. Across the galaxy, leaders gathered in war rooms, council chambers, and secret meeting halls. All screens showed the same thing. The Titan-class battleship moving slowly through space. Every empire felt the same cold fear, but no one wanted to speak the truth out loud. The truth that every species had tried to forget. The truth about humans. For centuries, aliens told stories about humans like bedtime nightmares, tales used to frighten children or warn young soldiers about arrogance. But those stories were more than fear. They were history. And now that history was returning, the war no one wanted to remember. Long ago the galaxy was different. There were fewer stars colonized, fewer alliances, fewer empires. Back then humans were not silent ghosts or forgotten legends. They were everywhere. Humans built colonies faster than any other race. They explored dangerous regions with excitement instead of fear. And they designed machines that other species believed were impossible. Their technology advanced quicker than anyone could track. But then came the Great Conflict, a war so big that every empire in the galaxy was dragged into it. No one knew who started it. Some blamed pirates. Some blamed rogue AIs. Some blamed humans themselves. But one fact remained unchallenged. Humans fought like no species had ever fought before. They did not surrender. They did not retreat. They did not break. Even when outnumbered. Even when surrounded. Even when entire planets fell. Humans kept building. Kept pushing. Kept surviving. Alien commanders remembered the same terrifying phrase humans always used. We do not die this easily. The war lasted decades. Some said humans won. Some said humans lost. Others claimed humans were preparing for something bigger. But one day without warning they disappeared. No ships. No colonies. No signals. No debris. Nothing. Human space turned silent. Human planets went dark. Human technology vanished like it had never existed. It was as if the entire species stepped out of reality. And the galaxy breathed in relief. Different theories, same fear. Now, centuries later, the Titan-class battleship forced the galaxy to remember every painful lesson. Inside the Grand Council Hall of the Elindra Federation, 11 alien diplomats argued loudly. They died long ago, shouted one. They cannot return. They left on their own, argued another. They always said they were temporary visitors to this galaxy. A third diplomat whispered in fear. No, humans are too stubborn to die. No one wanted to believe the rumors. But every one of them knew the truth. No other species could build a ship like the Titan. No other species used that type of energy core. No other species crafted armor with those strange metallic patterns. Only humans. The forbidden files. On the dark world of Zather Prime, Admiral Kether entered a restricted archive room. The room was sealed with dozens of security codes. Only top military leaders were allowed inside. Kether opened an old metal box. Inside were ancient records, human war reports, ship designs, intercepted messages. These files had been locked for centuries because the galaxy feared the knowledge they contained. He opened the first page. A sketch of a Titan-class ship appeared. Under it were only 3 words. Do not provoke humanity. Kether swallowed hard. He had always believed the Titans were myths. Stories told by old admirals who wanted to scare young soldiers. But the sketch, the details, the energy readings, everything matched the ship now entering the galaxy. The legends were real, Kether whispered. And now they are awake. Different species, same reaction. Across the galaxy, reactions spread like fire. The Saurians were peaceful merchants. They feared war more than anything. When they learned the Titan belonged to humans, panic filled their trading worlds. Parents kept children indoors. Shops closed early. Ships refused to travel. We cannot face humans, whispered one Saurian elder. Not again. The Zalari were warriors. Proud and fearless. But even they knew the stories. Their generals stood in silence when the human ship appeared on the screen. One general said what everyone was thinking. We trained for every enemy, except this one. The Vorik Empire. The Vorik believed in strength and control. They hated the idea of humans returning because humans were the only species they never managed to conquer. Their emperor slammed his fist on the table. If humans walk the galaxy again, he growled, we lose everything. Why humans left? Every empire had its own explanation. Some believed humans destroyed themselves. Others believed humans ran from a greater enemy. Some scientists believed humans evolved beyond physical bodies. But deep inside many leaders, a darker suspicion lived. Humans never left. They were only waiting. Waiting for new technology? Waiting for the perfect time? Waiting for the galaxy to become weak? No one knew. But the Titan-class battleship brought only one conclusion. Humans returned with purpose. And they returned stronger. The message that changed everything. As the Titan moved deeper into the galaxy, a new signal appeared. Not a greeting. Not a threat. Not a single word. Just a simple data code. Humanity Prime reactivated. Those two words spread fear across every world. Because Humanity Prime was the name the humans used during the Great Conflict. The name of their main military force. If Humanity Prime was active again, then the galaxy was about to face something it had not seen for centuries. The full power of humans. The past was no longer history. It was the future. And everyone knew. The arrival of the Titan-class battleship was only the beginning. The Titan-class battleship moved deeper into the galaxy, but it still did not speak, did not attack, and did not change course. It simply traveled forward, like a silent mountain drifting through space. Every empire watched. Every fleet prepared. Every heart feared. This was no ordinary first contact. This was first contact with humans after centuries of silence. The alien fleets gather. At the border of the Elindra Federation, a large defensive fleet formed a wall in space. Destroyers, cruisers, carriers, ship after ship took positions, forming a thick shield. Captain Lorik, an Elindran officer, stared at the glowing image of the Titan on the hologram screen. It's larger than a moon, he whispered. His second officer nodded slowly. And it's still far away. That means it will look even bigger when it gets close. Lorik felt cold inside. Never in his life had he seen a ship so massive. Never had he seen a ship that moved with such calm, measured confidence. He asked quietly, any sign of weapons? The officer scanned again. No engines charging. No weapons online. Nothing aggressive. Lorik exhaled in fear. That is what scares me. The silence was the scariest part. Across different species, the same conversation repeated. Is it going to attack? Has it come to conquer? Does it want war? But the Titan-class battleship did nothing. It didn't send warnings. It didn't demand surrender. It didn't respond to calls from alien fleets. It was like the ship didn't care that thousands of enemy ships were preparing weapons against it. Its silence felt like a storm waiting to explode. A ship that should not exist. In the Vorik Empire Command Center, Chief Scientist Halrix examined energy readings from the Titan. This is impossible, he stuttered. Emperor Vorik stepped forward. Explain. Halrix pulled up graphs comparing the Titan's energy core to known technology. No reactor in the galaxy reaches this power level. Even our best war cores are at 12%. This human ship is at 92%. His voice trembled as he continued. And that is while the ship is idle. Idle. Not fighting. Not running. Not preparing for war. Just moving. Vorix growled, so humans returned with technology far beyond ours? Halrix nodded weakly. It seems they never stopped advancing. They just disappeared from our view, but they did not stop growing. A deadly silence fell over the room. The Emperor finally spoke. Then we face a danger greater than any empire. Humans evolved while we became lazy. The first close-up scan. On a small scientific vessel near the border, a group of Frelix researchers risked scanning the Titan at extremely close range. Dr. Tenari, the lead scientist, adjusted the scanner. Hold the ship steady. We are only 50,000 kilometers away. Her assistant gulped. That's too close to a ship that could erase us accidentally. The scanner finally locked onto the Titan's hull. Tenari's eyes widened. The armor, it isn't metal. Her assistant blinked. Then what is it? It's something beyond metal. Something alive. Something changing. They watched as the hull shifted slightly like it was breathing. The assistant whispered, horrified. They made their ship alive. Tenari shook her head. No, the ship is not alive. It is something even stranger. She swallowed hard. It is aware. They disconnected the scan instantly. The Titan notices. For the first time since its arrival, the Titan-class battleship reacted. Its central eye-like sensor turned. Slowly. Smoothly. Directly. toward the little scientific vessel. The ship's crew froze. One of them whispered, "It sees us." Lights on the Titan flickered. A soft pulse of energy washed over the small vessel. Not an attack, just a scan. But the crew felt the weight of it. This scan was not mechanical. It felt like being watched by a predator. Dr. Tenari whispered, "This is no ordinary machine. This is a guardian, or a warning." Mass panic across the galaxy. When news spread that the Titan had scanned a ship, panic hit countless worlds. The Saurians shut down all spaceports. The Elindrans ordered city-wide curfews. The Vorik Empire doubled its military defenses. On the moon city of Evora, a child asked his father, "Are the humans coming to hurt us?" The father had no answer. On the mining world Valtor 6, workers stopped working, staring at emergency broadcasts showing the Titan. "Is this the end?" one miner asked. "Maybe," another whispered. A final warning attempt. Back at the Elindra defensive fleet, Captain Lorik ordered one last communication attempt. "Send a message in every language. We must get something from them. A word. A sign. Anything." The communication officer nodded and transmitted. "Unknown vessel. You are approaching protected space. Identify yourself. Respond or we will fire." The message repeated for minutes. The Titan-class battleship did not reply. But its movement changed. It slowed down. The entire alien fleet felt a wave of fear. Lorik whispered, "It heard us." The Titan stopped completely. Thousands of alien ships armed their weapons instantly. Energy cannons charged. Missiles locked on. Shields activated. All eyes watched the Titan. If it wanted war, this was the moment. The massive ship turned slightly. Not toward the fleet, but as if it was studying them. Then at last, a small transmission came through. Just 3 words. "Humanity is back." Every ship froze. Every soldier shook. Every world held its breath. Because those 3 words meant only one thing. First contact had begun, and the galaxy was not ready. Deep inside the Titan-class battleship, far away from alien eyes, the darkness shifted. A slow pulse of blue light traveled through the ship's long corridors. The energy wave moved like a heartbeat. Steady. Control. Instant. And then a human voice echoed inside the ship. "Humanity Prime, reactivation complete." For centuries, the Titan had drifted without a living soul awake. It had traveled through empty space, guarding a secret the galaxy had forgotten. A secret humans left behind before they vanished. Now, that secret was opening its eyes. The cryo chambers. Rows of cryopods lined a massive circular room. Frost covered their glass lids. Inside each pod lay a human, silent, unmoving, preserved in perfect condition. Lights flickered. Systems hummed. The first pod began to warm. The name on it read, "Commander Eric Hale, Humanity Prime Vanguard." As the cryofluid drained, the pod opened with a long metallic hiss. Commander Eric inhaled sharply. His first breath in hundreds of years. He stepped out slowly, his feet touching the cold metal floor. His eyes scanned the chamber, fully alert, fully aware, not confused at all. He had been trained for this. He had been waiting. The waking of the chosen. One by one, other pods opened. Captain Sarah Voyan, Communications and Strategy Specialist. Lieutenant Cade Ryan, Weapons and Systems Expert. Dr. Lyra Wintrell, Human Biologist and Cybernetic Engineer. Operative Jax Varon, Recon and Combat Specialist. Each of them stepped out as if they had only been asleep for a few hours, not centuries. Their bodies were strong. Their minds were sharp. Their memories were intact. This was no accident. They had been genetically enhanced before entering cryosleep. Stronger bones, faster reflexes, advanced neural links. Humans built for deep space survival. Humans built for this mission. The first words. Commander Eric looked around at his team. "Status?" he asked. Captain Sarah checked her wrist interface. Life systems stable. Core at 92%. External interference minimal. Minimal? Cade repeated. "Thousands of alien ships surround us." Sarah smirked. "That is minimal, for us." Dr. Lyra approached a glowing console. Her fingers danced across the controls. She spoke softly, almost to herself. "We slept longer than planned. The galaxy must have changed greatly." Eric nodded. "It has. And we returned at the right time." Jack stepped forward, stretching his arms. "So, what's the plan? Talk? Fight? Prepare?" Eric turned toward the central viewport. It showed millions of stars and far in the distance, the massive alien fleets. His voice remained calm. We observe first. Then we decide. The ship's AI awakens. The room suddenly darkened. From the ceiling, a giant translucent hologram appeared. A female figure made of light. Her voice was smooth and powerful. "Welcome back, Commander Eric Hale. Titan-class battleship, Epic Titan 1 ready for your command." Eric nodded. "AI Core Astra, give situation report." The hologram flickered and several star maps appeared. Alien fleets detected in perimeter. Energy levels low compared to human standards. No direct threats to hull integrity. Cade laughed softly. "They still use low-frequency cannons?" "Cute." Jack smirked. "They think they can stop a Titan." Lyra frowned. "We must not provoke them." "Not yet." Eric raised a hand and everyone went silent. "We follow the original mission. We do not start war." Astra's voice lowered. "Mission parameters unchanged. Reclaim lost human colonies. Restore Humanity Prime. Reunite with the main fleet." The crew exchanged glances. The main fleet? How much did they miss while they slept? The galaxy outside doesn't know the truth. Alien fleets continued to watch the Titan in sheer terror. They saw only a giant silent ship. They did not know humans were awake inside. They did not know the Titan was not a weapon, but a transport vessel carrying the first revived humans. They did not know this was just one ship among many. If they had known, panic would have doubled. A human discussion. Sarah approached Eric. "We must send a message. Something to calm them. Or they will attack." Eric shook his head. "No. They fear us because they do not understand us. Any message we send will only increase their fear." Lyra stepped closer. "Then what do we do?" Eric stared at the alien ships outside the viewport. His expression did not show anger or aggression. Only a cold, controlled determination. "We let them see that humans do not attack without reason." Jax frowned. "And if they fire first?" Eric answered simply. "Then we remind them why humans were never conquered." Memories of the past. As the crew prepared the Titan for full operation, each of them remembered parts of the great conflict. The betrayals. The alliances. The final battle. The moment the order came. Humanity Prime entering deep stasis. Await future reactivation. No one had known how long the sleep would last. Decades? Centuries? 1,000 years? But the mission was clear. Humans must survive. Humans must return. Humans must rebuild. And now they were awake. The Titan stirs. Lights activated. Engines hummed. Shields strengthened. The ship began to glow faint blue. A sign the systems were fully online. Astra spoke again. "Commander, alien fleets have armed weapons." Eric did not panic. He did not show fear. He simply spoke the truth. "They think we came to destroy them. But we came to reclaim our place." He lifted his hand. "Bring the communication relay online." Astra nodded. "Yes, Commander." The first human message. Across the galaxy, thousands of ships detected a sudden transmission. Clear. Strong. Human. The message was short. "We are Humanity Prime. We return to reclaim our destiny." Alien ships froze. Alien worlds shook. Alien leaders panicked. But inside the Titan, Eric Hale spoke calmly. "This is only the beginning. Wake the rest." And deep inside the ship, more cryopods began to open. The awakening had truly begun. Every corner of the galaxy was now awake. Alien governments that usually fought each other were suddenly united by only one thing. Fear. Fear of the giant human warship. Fear of the return of a species they once believed was extinct. Fear of the Titan-class battleship that moved like a silent metal god. And now, the moment they feared had finally arrived. The Titan speaks. Inside the Galactic Council Hall, 29 alien species gathered. Some looked angry. Some looked confused. Most looked terrified. In the center of the huge chamber, a hologram rotated, showing the Titan-class battleship in high detail. It was bigger than everyone imagined. Longer than any ship ever recorded. Its dark armor absorbed light like a black hole. Its engines glowed with a deep blue fire that looked alive. Council leader Vorkan, a tall reptilian, tried to sound brave. "Open a signal. We will speak to whoever commands this monster." The signal was set. For a long moment nothing happened. Then static. The hologram cracked. The sound rumbled through the chamber like thunder. And a calm human voice finally spoke. "This is Captain Eric Hayes of the Titan-class battleship Goliath. Identify yourselves." The aliens froze. Humans were not supposed to exist. Humans were supposed to be gone forever. Yet this voice felt completely real, and it felt terrifying. Panic in the council. Immediately, every alien leader began shouting, "Humans are supposed to be extinct. This is impossible. They must be an imitation, some trick." But deep down, every single one of them knew. No one in the galaxy could fake a ship like that. The council demanded information. Scan the ship again. Find a weak point. Locate their fleets. Technicians worked fast, hands shaking, screens flashing alerts. And then one technician stopped breathing for a moment. He slowly looked up. "Council, I scanned the ship." "Well, what did you find?" The technician swallowed. "It does not have a weak point. The armor is not in our database. The power core is something we cannot identify." And he hesitated. "And what?" Vorkin shouted. "And the ship is only using 2% power." The entire council fell silent. 2% power. And it had already caused panic in the galaxy. The ultimatum. The human voice spoke again. "Galactic Council, we have not come for war. But do not test us." A chilling silence followed. Humans were known in history for two things: their kindness to allies, and their unstoppable wrath toward enemies. The voice continued. "We detect hostile fleets preparing weapons. Stand down." Council leader Vorkin shook his head violently. "Tell them we will not be threatened." But another leader, a small insect-like species, whispered, "They are not threatening us. They are warning us." Everyone stared at him. He pointed at the hologram. "A ship that big does not need to threaten. If humans wanted us dead, we would already be dead." Everyone felt the truth in those words. The Goliath moves. The Titan-class battleship began to move again. Slow, smooth, silent. Its engines released a soft blue glow. But to the aliens watching, it felt like the movement of a god waking up. Sensors across the galaxy reported the same terrifying fact. The ship was positioning itself between alien fleets with perfect accuracy. It was blocking their weapons. It was predicting their movements. It was outthinking their best military AI systems. One alien commander cried out, "How can they control such a massive ship with so much speed?" Another answered, "Because humans don't fear big machines. They build them. They master them." The first demonstration. Captain Hayes spoke again. "To ensure peace, we will demonstrate our power. Do not be alarmed." But every alien was alarmed. The ship's massive front cannon slowly charged. Blue light gathered. Energy waves rippled through space. Alarms screamed across 100 fleets. "It's going to fire. Brace yourselves. Shut down weapons." But the shot did not hit anything. Instead, it fired into empty space. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the blast exploded into a star-like flare that lit up an entire region of space. When the light faded, a whole asteroid field, millions of tons of rock, had been evaporated. Gone. Turned to dust. Without harming a single alien ship. It was a warning. A controlled warning. A warning only humans could give. The galaxy breaks. Fear turned into silence. Silence turned into acceptance. For the first time in centuries, every alien species in the galaxy agreed on something. Humans had returned. And they were stronger than ever. Council leader Vorkin finally spoke, his voice weak, trembling. "Captain Hayes, what do you want?" The human answered simply, "Our people are returning to reclaim our place in the galaxy. We will not start a war. But if war comes to us, we will end it." The message ended. The hologram disappeared. The council chamber was quiet. Some aliens shivered. Some sat down in shock. Some whispered prayers. Because they all knew. The galaxy would never be the same again. The Titan-class battleship Goliath was only the beginning. And the humans had only shown 2% of their power. The galaxy had gone silent after the demonstration. Worlds that never agreed on anything were suddenly united by fear. Not because humans attacked, but because humans showed control. They showed power beyond technology. Power with precision. Power with purpose. Every alien species was asking the same question. Why did humans return? And where had they been all this time? They were about to get their answer. The ancient records unlock. Deep under the galactic archives, a group of alien historians gathered in a secret room. They opened dusty old data crystals, files that had not been touched for 300 years. When the files activated, the room filled with holograms of old human ships, human soldiers, and battles of the past. One historian trembled. These files were sealed by the old council. Why? Another replied softly. Because they feared the truth. The truth that humans were never weak. Humans did not disappear because they were defeated. Humans left, because they were planning something. Something bigger. The lost human message. The historians activated the final file. A human commander appeared, speaking to the camera from inside a war room filled with maps. His words echoed. If we fall together. If we rise stronger. The galaxy has not seen our true power yet. The file ended abruptly. Every alien in the room stared at each other. Humans had predicted their own return. This was not an accident. This was destiny. Inside the Titan-class battleship. While the alien council panicked, inside the human supership Goliath, things were very different. The hangar bay was alive with activity. Giant human mechs, called Titan Walkers, stood in perfect rows. Each one big enough to crush a cruiser. Robotic drones hovered around them, checking their armor and weapons. Human engineers walked in fast, confident steps. But the center of the ship held something even more impressive. The Titan core. A glowing sphere of blue and white energy, pulsing like a heartbeat. Captain Eric Hayes stood before it with his officers. His voice was calm. Status report. Lieutenant Mara Lexus replied. The galaxy is afraid. All fleets have pulled back 20 light minutes. No one wants to attack us. Eric nodded. They shouldn't. Another officer, Commander Holt, added. We detected encrypted signals from the Council. They're searching for our origin. Eric smiled. They won't find it. Because humans had not come from any planet inside the known galaxy. They came from somewhere else. They exiled human empire. After the Great War centuries ago, humans were not destroyed. They escaped. They built huge arc ships and traveled beyond the edge of known space. Beyond maps, beyond charts, beyond everything the aliens understood. For hundreds of years, humans evolved. They created new technologies. They developed new cultures. They built new cities under strange skies. And in that faraway region, they united under one banner. Humanity Prime. The Titan-class battleship Goliath was only the first ship of a new age. Behind it were hundreds more. The Council tries to strike first. Even though most aliens were terrified, some species were too proud to bow before humans. Especially the Vorkith Empire. Their emperor slammed his fist on the table. We cannot let humans return to power. If we do nothing, they will dominate the galaxy. His generals nodded, even though their eyes showed fear. One general tried to argue. Emperor, the Titan-class ship destroyed an entire asteroid field with a controlled shot. We cannot. The Emperor cut him off. I do not care. Prepare a first strike fleet. We will not kneel. The generals obeyed even though they knew it was suicide. Soon, a massive Vorkith war fleet, over 4,000 ships, began to move toward the human behemoth. The Goliath detects the fleet. Back on the Titan-class ship, alarms gently lit up. Not loud. Not panicked. Just calm. Mara Lexus looked at the screen. Captain, the Vorkith Empire is sending a hostile fleet. They will reach us in 3 hours. Eric Hayes didn't look surprised. He almost looked bored. Typical. Commander Holt stepped forward. Should we prepare weapons? Eric shook his head. No. Let them come. We won't fire first. Holt frowned. But sir, a fleet that large could. Eric raised his hand. They think numbers matter. They think they can intimidate us. They don't understand what the Titan-class ship can do. He turned to the Titan core. It pulsed brighter. Besides, they're not the ones I'm waiting for. His officers exchanged confused looks. Then who are you waiting for? Mara asked. Eric looked out the giant window toward the distant stars. Our people. The human armada arrives. As the Vorkith fleet moved closer, the galaxy held its breath. Thousands of alien ships. Millions of soldiers. All preparing for war. But just before they reached the Titan-class Goliath, space began to distort. Energy ripples spread like waves. Something was coming. Something huge. Sensors across the galaxy exploded with warnings. Multiple wormholes opened at once. And then, the human armada entered the galaxy. Not one ship. Not a dozen. Not 100. Thousands. Titan destroyers. Titan carriers. Titan warships. Titan frigates. A fleet so massive that even the bravest alien commanders felt their souls freeze. Every ship carried the same mark. Why, Humanity Prime. The Titan-class Goliath contacted the Council. We are not alone. We are returning as a united force. Prepare yourselves. For the new age of humanity. The galaxy had seen the first Titan. But now, they were about to face an entire human empire. The human armada filled the stars. What began as one Titan-class battleship had now transformed into an entire wall of human power stretching across space. Every alien species, every sensor, every satellite, every watchtower saw the same terrifying image. The humans had not only returned, they had returned stronger than the galaxy ever imagined. Titan carriers the size of cities. Titan destroyers glowing with energy cores never seen before. Titan warships shaped like giant arrows of metal and fire. And in the center of it all, the Titan-class battleship Goliath. Silent, massive, untouchable. Like a king among giants. The Vorkith fleet arrives, and freezes. The proud Vorkith Empire had sent 4,000 warships to attack the lone human Titan. But now, as they came out of warp, they saw the full human armada, and panic spread through their ranks. Every alien officer on their ships froze. Every soldier felt fear swallow their heart. Even their emperor, watching from the flagship, whispered, "This is impossible." For the first time in their history, the Vorkith knew they were outmatched. Hopelessly, completely, outmatched. One of their commanders trembled. "Emperor, do we continue the attack?" The emperor's mouth went dry. He could not speak. He could not breathe. He could only stare at the endless wall of human warships that blocked out the stars. The Goliath sends one final message. Inside the enormous Titan-class Goliath, Captain Eric Hayes stood before his crew. His expression was calm, steady, unshaken, like a man who had seen many wars and was ready for one more. "Open the channel," he ordered. A golden hologram filled the bridge. Every alien ship in the galaxy, friend or enemy, received the message. The human captain appeared clear and sharp, like he was standing in front of them. His words echoed across 1,000 star systems. "We are Humanity Prime. We have returned to reclaim our place among the stars." Every alien listened. None dared interrupt. "We did not come to conquer," Eric continued. "We came because our home was destroyed. We came because old enemies hunted us. We came because we needed a future." The aliens exchanged stunned glances. Humans were refugees? No one knew. No one had imagined. But Eric wasn't finished. "We built the Titan-class fleet to protect our people. We do not want war." His voice hardened. "But if anyone brings war to us, we will end it." The message ended. Silence followed. A silence so deep, the galaxy felt like it had stopped breathing. The standstill breaks. The Vorkith Emperor finally gathered his courage. He opened a channel to the human armada. His voice was shaky. "I am Emperor Vokar of the Vorkith Empire. We intended to attack your ship. But now we see your power. We wish to speak." For the first time ever, the Vorkith Empire asked for peace. They had no choice. Their entire fleet shook under the shadow of the humans. The humans responded with a single sentence. "Lower your weapons, Emperor. Then we speak." And so, the proud Vorkith deactivated every weapon. The galaxy watched shocked. No one had ever seen the Vorkith surrender. The Council admits the truth. In the Galactic Council Hall, the leaders finally understood one thing. The galaxy was not the center of power anymore. Humanity Prime was. The Council leaders sighed deeply. "All these centuries, we feared humans. But maybe, we should have hoped for them." Another alien whispered, "Are they here to rule us?" But the oldest council member shook his head. "No. If humans wanted to rule us, they would have done it today." The others nodded in agreement. Humanity's arrival was not the beginning of domination. It was the beginning of a new balance. One where the galaxy's greatest fear might also be its greatest hope. The human armada expands the truth. In the following hours, human ships began deploying drones, beacons, and communication arrays. The sky filled with energy trails as the massive fleet moved with perfect discipline. Every formation exact, every ship responding instantly. Alien scientists were shocked. How can a fleet this big move like one unit? It is impossible. No one coordinates this fast. But the humans did. Because they had built a new kind of command network. A network that connected every Titan ship. A network that learned, adapted, and predicted. Humans called it the Prime Link. A system that made their fleet feel alive. A system that made their fleet unbeatable. The moment of choice. Now the galaxy had a choice. Stand with humans. Or stand against them. The Council asked one final question. "What do you want from us, Captain Eric Hayes?" Eric's answer was simple. "We need a home. We need peace. We need allies." The aliens looked at each other in shock. Humans did not come to conquer. Humans came to rebuild. They came to return. They came to rise again. The galaxy accepts. One by one, every alien species made the same decision. Support humanity prime. Why? Because the humans did something no empire had ever done. They showed power without cruelty, strength without tyranny, dominance without bloodshed. The humans came as giants, but they chose to stand as protectors. A new era begins. As the armada spread across the stars, something extraordinary happened. Worlds that feared each other began to talk. Enemies who never shared a sentence began to negotiate. Trade routes opened. Ceasefires formed. Violence began to fall. Because the galaxy now had one unbreakable shield: humanity prime. And the day the Titan-class battleship entered the galaxy was the day everything changed. From that moment on, the galaxy trembled. But it also hoped, because the humans had returned, and they were unstoppable.